The PlayStation 5 is a 6-year-old console, despite what the new prices would have you think, and throughout its life cycle, we have got quite a few games that showcase the power of this console. But back when it first released, Bluepoint's Demon's Souls was, at least how I saw it, the showcase game. The game that was really gonna show what the next gen was supposed to look like. And it 100% does. When I first booted up this game, I mean, wow. It's pretty incredible, especially for when it released. But the thing I want to discuss is how even nowadays, when I'm playing it, I'm still very impressed. Despite a large number of big budget releases with new technology, I believe the Demon's Souls remake remains one of, if not the best looking game on PS5 graphically. And of course, that creates the question, why is that? First off, it's a launch title. Games are only supposed to get better after this one. Nowadays, developers should understand how to make games on this console better. So after 6 years, surely we should have got something that was better now, right? Well, I'm not so sure, and in this video I aim to answer why that is, at least as much as I can. Obviously, to a degree, this is a subjective matter. I haven't played every single PS5 release, and there could be games out there that some people think look better. But I definitely have heard other people share my same opinion on this, and I was curious about the topic, so let's begin the search into why Demon's Souls is still the best looking PS5 game. Let's begin with probably the biggest advantage Bluepoint had when they were making this game. It is a remake. Obviously, all games have lots of work put into them, but in a case like this, where game mechanics and level design and such stay pretty faithful to the source material, I mean, that's a lot of effort that can now be put towards other things. As I said, I am not trying to undermine the work that went into this game. Rebuilding an entire game from the ground up using modern technology is still a massive undertaking. But when you have such a strong foundation already, and you don't need to create core gameplay or levels or spend years prototyping things that probably won't even make it into the final game, that does save a lot of time. Because of that, now a large portion of their time and resources could instead be focused on making this game look as good as possible. I mean, when you're playing this game, I feel like you can tell that there was just so much attention to detail put into every bit of design here. There's just a level of polish here that makes everything feel that much more high quality. And obviously, huge props have to go to the original Demon's Souls team to create such a great foundation, so that a lot of what Bluepoint had to do was just perfect something that had already worked really well. So yeah, the very nature of this game being a fairly faithful remake of an older title gave developers a huge advantage when it came to making the graphics look as good as they could. However, I also think a big part of this is just due to the nature of what kind of game Demon's Souls actually is. By modern standards, Demon's Souls is a pretty linear game. There's nothing wrong with this, of course, but it is very helpful visually to have carefully designed levels with pretty much only one path through them. And I feel like you can look at a lot of other games and have this same sentiment reflected. I mean, look at the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remaster. I think this game looks stunning visually on PS5, but it's just so large. The textures are amazing, but the level of detail is just not on the same level as Demon's Souls. But that's probably because the world is about 10 times larger. Then look at another remake, like The Last of Us Part 1. Definitely another great contender for best looking PS5 game, and this is once again a very linear title. It's truly just a lot simpler when the devs don't have to account for the player being able to go everywhere and do everything, or different day and night cycles, stuff like that. And I think Demon's Souls takes advantage of this more than any other game I've seen. Furthermore, when you're playing this game, I think the high quality of all the different items that go into making a game graphically impressive shine no matter where you're looking. First off, the lighting in this game is incredible. I find all the colors so vibrant, whether that be dark blues from the sky in Boletaria, or deep oranges and yellows in the Nexus. Locations can be dark and atmospheric with tiny amounts of light, or bright with a beautiful sunset, and both are amazing. The way this lighting reacts to the world is also incredible, with great shadows and reflections in wet areas or on shiny armor. Literally, my only complaint is that they have this incredible atmospheric lighting, and then when you die and enter ghost form, which is probably how you'll be spending most of the game, now it's kinda ruined with this huge glowing ghost you're controlling. I mean, I know it's meant to be like this, but it just kind of annoys me. I just want to see my cool armor in proper lighting. Speaking of armor, the textures and quality of all the surfaces in this world is impressive. It's difficult to find anything in this game that looks low resolution, and the fact that so much of this is interactable too is amazing. Like wood crates breaking, or even tiny details like chains hanging from the roof that bounce off your character. Even the fabric on your armor bouncing as you move. I just feel like it's such a rewarding experience to play this game slowly and appreciate all the details in the world and everything inhabiting it. But the polish doesn't stop there. While the audio and animation quality don't really have to do with the graphics, they do just add that much more that make the entire game feel that much more premium. The audio design is great. That's kind of a vague thing to say, like yes, this game has a great soundtrack, but I mean more like the sound effects. Like the impact of your sword hitting something, or a lightning strike from the sky, a dragon flying overhead. I think Demon's Souls is one of the more cinematic From Software games, and this really helps achieve that. There's lots of moments or bosses that are really just spectacles, and they would be nothing without the amazing sound design to help these moments feel big. The animations are also literally so good. Once you start trying out different weapons, that's all you're gonna want to do from now on, because the attack and riposte and backstab animations for each one are so unique and badass. The fact that each of these things individually is so good, and then they combine to create this experience where everything truly feels premium, is really what made this game stand out for me. Here's something else I've noticed that I think also gives this game a big advantage. They really know how to hide their weaknesses, I'll say. This game has beautiful environments, but NPCs and interactions with them, well, when you compare it to one of the other games I've mentioned in this video, like The Last of Us Part 1, it just doesn't even compare. Even though this was also done in the original, Demon's Souls sticks with keeping all NPC interactions at a distance. The camera is really never placed in a way that would make the character's imperfections stand out, and it actually goes a long way. I mean, of course, it's also not a heavily story-focused game, so they don't need these hyper-realistic characters for long cutscenes, but it is something small that I think helps build on everything else I've mentioned. And I should also talk about the circumstances outside of just this one game that helped it to succeed. For a 6-year-old console, there is a lot of people that will argue that the PS5 has a lack of standout titles, and to a degree, I also agree. I think it's definitely better than when the console first released, but looking at the last generation, I mean, yeah, the PS4 blows this thing out of the water. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the competition isn't as strong as it has been before, which of course works in Demon's Souls' favor. Why is this? Well, it's hard to say. I can be cynical and say companies don't care about giving their games enough time to be polished, which is unfortunately true, but a lot of it is also the large scope of a lot of modern games. I mean, if a game is only 10 hours long and costs $90, that might upset a lot of people, so bigger is usually the more safe option. So a small-scale remake like Demon's Souls is already bound to succeed over large-scale projects like that in terms of graphics. And before I finish it off, I should mention the controversies with this game. I have played both the PS5 remake and the original PS3 game, and yeah, well, graphically, extremely impressive. The art direction of the remake is quite a bit different from the original, and that does suck. Some things I don't mind, but there are a few bigger choices that are pretty frustrating, like the changes in the Tower of Latria. And I understand that for a lot of people, that essentially makes this game unplayable. As someone who has played every Souls-like that From Software has put out, these games have a special vibe and atmosphere that only From Software seems to be able to accomplish. And in comparison, that can make this remake look like Unreal Engine slop. But as a whole, that's not what this video is about. I can be annoyed with the art style changes and still think this is the most graphically impressive game I've ever played. And, well, that is how I feel. Plus, I don't actually think it's Unreal Engine slop. There's a lot of great care put into everything I've mentioned, like lighting and textures, to give it a unique style. Just not the same unique style as the original. So, overall, I hope I've done a good job of explaining why I think the Demon's Souls remake is the best looking game on PS5. It's a subjective opinion, as I've said, so you don't have to agree with me, but whenever I play this game, I am truly amazed at how good it feels to play. I think there are plenty of other incredible looking PS5 titles, some that excel in certain areas farther than Demon's Souls does. For the size, games like Horizon Forbidden West or Cyberpunk 2077 have incredible looking worlds. A game like Alan Wake 2 or The Last of Us Part 1 have incredible looking characters that allow them to tell an even better story. But as an entire game, I've always felt like Demon's Souls has the most polished experience out of all of these games. While lots of people had their problems with it, hopefully we can all agree that it was disappointing to see the closure of Bluepoint, who created this game. I'm not sure I would have wanted them remaking other From Software games without a little bit more of an attempt to keep the original art style, but either way, it's always sad to see a talented studio shut down. At least we will always have this game and its incredible graphical achievements to remember them by, and I couldn't be more satisfied with this. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know if you agree with my take or if you think there's a different PS5 game that looks even better down in the comments. And I hope to see you guys in another video. Bye.